Shopping for local brands is a life hack. It is about 40% cheaper than buying from abroad, and you can also get a tax refund on top of that. This is a shopping guide on which Swedish fashion brands you would want to check when you're visiting Stockholm. Probably the most popular and the most famous. Acne Studios is one of the best contemporary fashion brands globally. They're well known for their unique designs, but also maintaining the wearability. It is one of the brands that are at the very front line of the global fashion trends, but also has enough scale to produce the staple pieces to serve the fashion conservative individuals. If you even have the slightest interest in fashion, Acne Studios is a must visit. Acne Studios has 3 stores in Stockholm, the global flagship store, a regular store, and an archive store. I've been to all 3 and here's how they differ. Global flagship was located in the middle of the shopping district. It is built in an old bank that had the famous robbery in the 1973, where the armed heists triggered the victim's psychological reaction, later called Stockholm Syndrome. The building was obviously renovated so it was clean and modern, but part of the store, like Greek-inspired pillars, remained from the old bank. The sales representatives offered bottled water and some snacks, which was a pleasant surprise. The store had all of the latest collections available, and it was fun to experience the space. The regular one is in the opposite part of the city. It was almost the same as the main one in terms of the shopping experience. The store was more compact, but they had all the items I wanted to try out. The sales rep also offered bottled water at the store, and one interesting part would be that the store manager was very helpful and was fun to talk to. The archive store is where they sell the previous season items on discount. This will probably be the place that sells Acne Studios items with the cheapest price in the world. No water was offered here. A common feature I noticed from all stores is that Acne Studios employees are extremely professional and they had a well-structured system. It seems that they had manuals on how to serve the customers for each unique situation. For example, when there was no more inventory left of the item I wanted, they checked if a nearby store had one and shipped it to the location that I was in. The services they provided were all geared towards making the experience helpful and pleasant. Props to the person who designed their employee training program. There are 2 major stores for Our Legacy, regular store downtown and Our Legacy workshop store. The regular store, you could already tell they will have the latest collections. They also had some past season items that were on sale. The store was not too big but very clean, and the sales reps were really nice. My understanding of this brand is that Our Legacy is trying to bring some fun to their items with graphics and fabrics, instead of playing around with the silhouettes too much. One of the most popular items from Our Legacy is a printed denim. The idea is that producing washed and distressed denim wastes a lot of water, resulting in environmental pollution. So instead of washing the denim, they printed a distressed look on top of a blank denim pants. This became so iconic that it became the brand's staple and comes out every year. Since Our Legacy was already accessible through Essence, Our Legacy Workshop was more interesting personally. On top of having archived items, they also had items from collaborations with different brands, actual samples without any tags, and upcycled items crafted at the workshop. They don't sell these items online, so the store is the only official location to buy any items from their workshop brand. This is located close to the Acne Studios archive shop, so I would recommend visiting both places on the same day. One of the many brands that H&M owns, Arket has the vibe of the old COS, where they made clothes with the best materials at a reasonable price. I don't know how many people would agree, but COS feels like they're using slightly worse materials and becoming slightly more expensive than before. Arket, on the other hand, I was really satisfied with the price for the quality. One downside could be that the design is pretty basic because they're mostly producing staple pieces. They do have some vibrant colors and uncommonly textured fabrics, so I think that makes up for the less diverse designs. One of the most well-known denim brands in the world, People who are interested in raw denim would already know about Nudie Jeans. They're famous for their high quality denim. The most interesting part of the store was that they collected the denim that their customers wore, repaired and upcycled those pairs to sell them in the store. For vintage lovers and people looking for unique items, this will be a great choice. Since they wouldn't have many pairs and sizes, if you happen to find the pair that you like and that fits you, it will be a memorable moment. Also, it is good for the environment, so they're presenting a responsible way to consume fashion. Other brands like Fjallraven, famous for waxed clothes and backpacks, they had a Swedish edition backpack that can only be purchased in Sweden, and I think this could be a good souvenir. On the other hand, these are the brands that I was excited to visit, but wasn't too excited after I visited. They have 2 store locations in the city, which tells that they are already quite popular. Their trousers were nice, I liked their fit and choice of fabric. One issue was that the length was too long because it is a Swedish brand and Swedish people are tall. I could get it hemmed from their dedicated tailor with some extra cost, but it didn't fit my 1-week schedule in Stockholm. The store I visited did not have the right size for the trousers that I liked. When I asked some questions to the sales rep, she wasn't really helpful and did not seem interested in helping me out. Then I asked about where I can find the inventory for the trouser I liked, and the employee told me their database shows 1 pair in the other location, and they called the other location to confirm that there is an inventory, but got an answer back that the size I wanted wasn't there. The employee still suggested that I should visit the other location to confirm, which led to a conclusion that they either don't have trust between the stores or their inventory tracking system is unreliable. Another thing I noticed was that the quality of the garments were not all at the same level. There was a pretty cool looking bomber jacket which used a very nice fabric for the outer shell. When I tried it on, the lining fabric of the jacket felt really cheap, which felt completely off from the general quality of the other pieces. The inconsistency of the quality between the garments makes the brand unreliable, making the online shopping harder and requires you to check each piece in person. I still think they have pretty cool styles, but they seem to have some room for improvements. Their idea is that they'll reduce waste by providing high quality staples to their customers. I like the idea, but I wasn't too sure about their execution. I tried their t-shirt, but the fit was kinda slim and the fabric was very thin, so my nipples bulged through the t-shirt. It is disgusting to see other guys' nipples on top of their t-shirts, so I would never want to do that myself. However, when I checked their photos on their website, the models didn't seem to have that problem. If you're underweight, their clothes might be good for you. I believe Staple also should consider embracing the trend up to a certain level. It was questionable that a light-weighted slim-fit t-shirt would be considered a staple or just a classic piece. For that reason, Arket serves as a better staple piece brand, personally. Asket has great ideas and great marketing, but my expectations were slightly different from what I witnessed. Stockholm doesn't have a well-developed infrastructure for fashion manufacturers, so all the items you'll see will be designed in Sweden but not made in Sweden. Still, their headquarters are all based in Sweden, so it is still the cheapest option to purchase there. If you're a foreigner visiting Stockholm like I did, always bring your passport when you go shopping. The sales reps will help you with preparing the receipts for the tax refund, so you can later claim the amount from the Global Blue at the Arlanda airport.